So these are the 5 big questions that we're asking tonight on India Matters. Number 1, has ex-Inspector Mehboob Mujawar in any way exposed the Congress? This is, of course, if his claims actually hold any water. Number 2, does this confirm Saffron terror is a UPA government concoction? Because after all, Mehboob Mujawar, this ex-ATS officer, is claiming that he was ordered by the police force under the then Maharashtra government, under the Congress, to go and arrest the RSS chief. Number 3, is this evidence of political gains from Saffron terror fiction? Is there proof that Saffron terror was agenda and not a reality? Does this really add another layer of reality and proof to that? And who cleared the fake Saffron terror master plan? Was it a party president? Was it a senior minister? Was it someone in the intelligence bureau? Was it all of them together in one meeting? We cannot say for sure, but yesterday's verdict has raised very, very big questions, and today's testimony by Mehboob Mujawar of the Maharashtra ATS, he's retired now, adds a huge amount of doubt over where things really stand with Saffron terror. Joining me live now is Nikhil Jain. He is a pro-Congress political analyst and lawyer. Shantanu Gupta is an author and columnist. We'll also be joined by others in just a short while from now. Shantanu, I'd like to quickly come to you first. Mehboob Mujawar, his words are startling, to say the least. The detail with which he has said he was ordered by superiors, he takes their names as well, to go to Nagpur and arrest the RSS chief with a revolver, and he refused, saying there's no proof. I mean, these things are probably verifiable, but we cannot obviously vouch for them. They're said in public, they're said on the record. What do you make of this, and how do you see this in light of yesterday's verdict from Malegaon?
Shiv, I think after the yesterday's verdict, it is amply clear that how UPA government and various ministers of UPA government clearly concocted the story of Saffron terror, because we have seen in late 2007, early 2008, there are multiple bomb blasts, right? Bomb blasts start from Hyderabad to Ahmedabad, to even multiple cities of Uttar Pradesh. So their vote bank, their minority vote bank was looking bad. So they have to, as you rightly said in your intro, they want to balance it with Saffron terror, and they started creating theories with Malegaon blast. And we have also seen the Kalava in Kasab's hand. We have also seen the Hindu identity card of Kasab. If not for Tukaram Amle, that theory would have been proven also. We have seen Digvijay Singh, Mahesh Bhatt launching a book, 2611 RSS ki Sajish. So they try to balance it out. Yeah. Very clearly, we have seen that. And now statements like these, which Mehboob ji is saying, is, I think, clearly indicating one way they want to, anyone who represent the Hindu element, right? Yeah. Army and Hindu element, they want to discredit. So they capture Colonel Purohit, they capture Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, and now we hear that they wanted to arrest Mohan Bhagwat. Who bigger than Mohan Bhagwat who represent the Hindu thought, the Sangh Parivar? And also, if you remember, yes. Milind Joshi, one of the witnesses, right? He said that I was asked to name 5 RSS members and Yogi Adityanath. Can you imagine that? Yogi Adityanath. So that was 2008, 2009, when Yogi Adityanath was a member of parliament, though, but was not a chief minister even then. So they were in mind, let me capture the Hindu figures, let me capture the army, discredit them, and then I can always say, whenever you will say Islamic terror, I will coin the term Saffron terror, and will balance it out. My Alpsankhyak voter bank, my minority vote bank will be happy about it.
It is actually incredible, because for the better half of 2 decades, this Saffron terror bogey has been alive and well, thanks to nobody being able to completely disprove it. But one verdict, and but now the words of this man, once again I say we can't...
Who concocted the word Saffron terror?
Shaina?
Yes.
Who concocted
Shiv,
the word?
I said maybe you should first ask a question. Who concocted the word Saffron terror? Does terror have any color or any ideology? Terror is terror. And here you have seniors who have ordered the arrest of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, a nationalistic movement. Our Sarasangh Chalakji, Mohanji Bhagwat, has led a life of dignity. Mr. Mujawar told not just your channel but many others that the then Chief Investigative Officer of the Malegaon blast had ordered that Mr. Mohan Bhagwat be arrested. Now, how ridiculous is this? I mean, if you really look at the facts of this particular case, in the past too, we have said that the investigation was carried out by the ATS, handed over to the NIA. There were 323 witnesses, Shiv. So the point is, of which 40 turned hostile. And there you are alleging and defaming right-wing thought leaders who are here to unite our community. Look at the life of Adarnya Sarasanchalakji Mohanji Bhagwat. It is blemish-free. It is that of integrity. And there you attempt to conduct a fake probe, and you attempt all these kind of words like saffron terror, and say that how, XYZ have been a part of it. I'm so glad that this revelation has come into the public domain, because I would like to say that all these people who espouse with jaundiced eyes this kind of urban naxalism, they need to be also brought to task.
Also, nobody has, come for, Nikhil, I want to bring you in. You support the Congress party. Nobody has come forward to deny what this man has said. This man has made a very startling claim. He has said that the Maharashtra government, the police under them, ordered him to go and arrest the RSS chief. How come nobody has come and debunked it if it's not true?
Shiv, I'm sure that some sort of condemnation or rejection would be in place from the Congress party.
Nikhil, nothing has come. That's the point.
No, Shiv, but let me make the point that I want to make first. The man here is a retired inspector. He's coming out 18 years after the investigation and saying that I was asked to arrest the RSS chief with a revolver. Is this a joke? RSS was not in power at that point of time, but RSS was a very powerful organization. Who in their right mind could have thought, which government, which politician, which minister, which commissioner of police would have in their right mind thought that
but he's not saying the government said it. He said the probe chief told him to go and arrest Mohan Bhagwat along with a couple of others. If it is so preposterous, why is it not being categorically denied? Why is it not being categorically denied? Surely this is a serious issue then.
If I can complete my point. First of all, I find the statement by this gentleman very preposterous, and had it not been playing on television, I would not even give two hoots about it. I would not even expect any political party to condemn it. But since it's become something that's in the national media right now, I expect the Congress party to condemn it and refute it, and I'm sure something like that would come its way very soon. So far as the initial points that were made about this entire thing and how this was a conspiracy and a balancing act by the Congress to put in this advantage of saffron terror and this and that, I feel the entire argument and the entire premise of it is very fallacious, for the simple reason that we're a country with over 80% Hindus. Congress is a party where most of its leaders are Hindus, most of its voters are Hindus. To suggest that Congress would get some sort of a political gain to somehow paint the religion of Hinduism as a terrorist
I'll show you why you're wrong.
I think that's very fallacious.
I'll show you why you're wrong. There's proof of why you're wrong.
I know there have been statements. I know, Shiv, that there have been statements by certain leaders in the Congress who use the word saffron terror, but let's understand to distinguish between Hinduism and Hindutva. A while ago, Shaina NC on your program said that RSS chief is probably the biggest Hindu thought leader. He's not a Hindu thought leader. He's a Hindu.
No, one sec. Nikhil, you're completely wrong. You're completely off track. Let me just take you through just a couple of examples, a handful of examples of how this was not some stray comment that was being made by senior leaders of the UPA government and the Congress party, which was the ruling party at the center and in several states at that time. Let me just show you. P. Chidambaram, Home Minister of the time, in August 2010, referred to recently uncovered phenomenon of saffron terrorism in several bomb blasts. Not Hindutva terrorism, saffron terrorism. January 2013, Sushil Kumar Shinde, who became the Home Minister, BJP and RSS conducting terror training camps to spread saffron terrorism. Then you had Digvijay Singh, who famously in 2010 attended a launch of a book called 2611 RSS Ki Sajish. After a huge backlash in Parliament, he said, I don't think that the RSS had anything to do with 2611, and that was only under a great deal of pressure. In the 2009 WikiLeaks cables, threats of Hindutva terrorism, there you can quibble and say Rahul Gandhi is not talking about Hindu terrorism, but Hindutva terrorism. But there is very clearly a pattern here. There was a conspiracy or some kind of an organized attempt, not some kind of, random attempt, but an organized attempt to build and construct this idea of saffron terror, which is clearly not the case. Nikhil.
Shiv, when my video froze, what I was trying to say was that Let's learn to distinguish between Hinduism and Hindutva. A while ago, Shaina NC on the panel said that RSS leader is, one of the biggest Hindu leaders. He's not a Hindu
leader. None of these people have said Hindutva, sir. Nikhil, none of these people have said Hindutva. This is Hindu terror.
I said Hindu thoughts.
No. The statements that you're playing are about Saffron terror and
Nikhil Jain, if you're a Hindu, you'd realize that never ever would you jeopardize your country.
I did not interject you. Please extend that courtesy. I already
Shiv,
am suffering
allow
from a
me a
back
rebuttal,
connection.
please.
I will. We have time.
Of course you will.
Yes,
Of course you will. You don't need to interject.
But no rhetoric. Answer the point. Answer the point directly.
We'll allow you to speak, right? I'm answering the point directly. What I'm trying to say is
don't
that there
bring in
was
the Hindutva angle. That doesn't belong here. This is very clearly mentioned Saffron terror and Hindu terror. Don't dilute it by saying they meant Hindutva terror.
No, Shiv,
that also
nobody
doesn't
is saying
exist,
the word.
but don't dilute it.
Shiv, can I please complete my point? I don't think anybody used the word Hindu terror. Saffron terror certainly was used, and since saffron is a color that is associated with Hinduism, I personally feel that was a wrong remark to make. It should not have been.
Wrong remark.
So far as
people have spent 11 years in jail, Nikhil.
No. And let me get to that.
Please highlight what Sushil Kumar Shinde and Digvijay Singh
can I
said and
please
Mr.
complete
Rahul
my
Gandhi
point?
also.
Miss NC, you can't keep on interjecting.
of
You cannot keep on
Hindutva
interjecting. Can I
This
please
is crazy.
respond?
Who
Can I
is
please
he?
respond on the
No,
case?
but you cannot just
Shiv,
say
can I
anything you
please
like without
respond on the
listening
case?
to the opposite
Shiv, can I
viewpoint.
please respond on the case?
Very quickly,
but
this is a lot of rhetoric, Nikhil, I have to say.
So far as this particular case is concerned, Shiv, this is a case where the investigation did happen under the Congress government, but the prosecution took place for 11 years under the Modi government. There is a prosecutor in the case on record in 2016 who said go slow on the accused. This is only an acquittal by the trial court. Let's wait for the High Court and the Supreme Court to release the verdict of it.
Have you seen the scathing words being used? Have you seen the scathing words that have been used by the court? You cannot say trial court and get away with it.
I am also making the point that the prosecution did not present the case properly. 7 witness statements magically disappeared. The prosecutors have come on record to say that we were told to go slow. And if indeed it was such a weak case, it was such a nonsense case, it could have always been quashed. Why was it never quashed? Why was the closure report never filed?
This is such a boilerplate defense. This is such a boilerplate defense, Nikhil. Shaina, you want to quickly come in, then I'll bring Shantanu back in.
Just to tell your viewers in the
Of course I want to. Shiv, I've been waiting my turn.
Yeah. Shaina.
Okay, let's remind him a little bit of history back in time. What did Digvijay Singh do? He went to launch a book called RSS Ki Sajish. What did Rahul Gandhi said? He said the threat of Hindutva and Hindutva terrorism is a big threat to our country. I mean, this is the genius, and the genius who doesn't know what the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh stands for. Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh stands for nation building, stands for no propaganda, and stands for doing good work for one and all, and to keep our country safe and secure. Let's not forget what Sushil Kumar Shinde, the then Home Minister, said. Saffron terror is a big threat to India. Who coined this word? It was only the Congress party. And let's understand that those who tried to frame Hindu society under the garb of terror, these are the people who should be questioned. And if after 17 years of the Malegaon blast attacks, where you had 6 people who lost lives, 100 people who were injured, and a special court hands it over to the National Investigative Agency saying that there was no reliable and evidence that matched in this particular case, I'd like to quote what Judge Lahori said. Lahori said that, when you hear such cases, it makes you realize that how violence and terrorism have no religion, but the court has to only play with the perception that is being set by the narrative of these pseudo-seculars.
The point is,
every time you target the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and Mohanji Bhagwat, understand that no Hindu is a terrorist or espouses terror.
This is the weaponization of the ideology
of your systems to arrest
one second. Shaina, Nikhil, just 1 second.
You will get a backlash from all of us.
This is a weaponization of pseudo-secularism. Shantanu, you can come in on this, because this is the same ecosystem, this is the same government, this is the same UPA that was chronically reluctant to say anything, even mention Islamist terrorism despite, multiple attacks. And here, on the basis of hardly anything, concocted IB reports, etc., it created this entire facade of Hindu terrorism, which had a very, very sharp definition. The same people who refused to call out Islamist terrorism were very certain that there is something called Hindu terrorism.
See, Shiv, as the package of the minority appeasement,
terrorism is terrorism.
Yeah.
Shantanu.
In the process of minority appeasement, Congress has two elements. One is give extra to Muslim population, which Manmohan Singh said very eloquently that most of the resources should go to minorities, and from the Waqf board to minority to places of worship act, they keep giving. And another element is keep teasing Hindus. Keep Hindus look bad. Ram kalpanik hai. Jo ladke mandir jate hain, wo ladki chhedte. That's also part of the Muslim appeasement. And this story is also part of it. And then some nuanced one will say, no, Hindutva is different and Hinduism is different. Hinduism is the religious part. Hindutva is the social part, right? Then you will say, no, what Shivaji used to say, Hindvi Swaraj, that was also Hindutva. I don't know. So they will try to do thin lines, so then come and say something on the TV, right? So I think this is their strategy. How can they divide Hindus? They divide in caste. Can they malign them and appease Muslims? And this is the political strategy. Yesterday it failed brutally. And that's why they will find some corner, Hindutva, Hinduism, that differentiate, so that they can run away from yesterday's
I've only heard escape route since yesterday. That, there will be an appeal in the High Court. Final comment, Nikhil, that, the end of saffron terrorism as a concept began with yesterday's verdict. You can say High Court, you can say appeal, you can say whatever you want. Ultimately, yesterday's verdict was a body blow to this entire conspiracy.
Rahul, until this verdict came and took away all the attention away from the failures of the government in the Pahalgam terror attack, nobody was even talking about saffron terror. Nobody has been talking about it except those few months.
How does the verdict have anything to do with Pahalgam?
No. I am not saying that it has anything to do with Pahalgam. I'm simply saying that 2 days ago we were discussing about the government's failure in Pahalgam. Today we are discussing about this. But we were never discussing about saffron. We were never discussing about saffron terror, Rahul. We were not discussing about saffron terror for 18 years.
Every debate
about it.
I have always maintained terrorism has no religion. It's not Islam, it's not Hinduism, it's not Sikhism.
I mean, your arguments are getting more bizarre by the second, Nikhil. Are you trying to say that we are a one-issue country? Come on, we can talk about different things at the same time. Yes.
Of course.
Final comment from Shantanu and Shaina.
Nobody was talking about saffron terrorism.
That is rubbish. I have just recorded a 2-hour podcast about the problems with Operation Sindoor and Pahalgam. Believe me, you will see it in a couple of days. Shantanu, yes.
No, I know you must.
Just want to say, any debate you bring on ISIS, someone like Nikhil will drop in the name of Pragya Thakur. Pragya Thakur, the terrorist, ne aapne unko sansad mein pahuncha diya.
No, I don't.
It was a
drop of the hat.
creation.
They used to drop this argument, right? Now their mouths are shut, and that's why.
Shaina, final word.
I don't know that.
Shaina, final word. 30 seconds.
Look, there's enough evidence to show that the Congress have been repeat offenders, whether it's Mr. Chidambaram, Sushil Kumar Shinde, Digvijay Singh, Rahul Gandhi himself, the way they have misused the word terrorism. Terrorism is terrorism, and they've aligned it to saffron, Hindutva, etc.
Okay.
But the lowest of lowest is this blow where you have an investigative officer saying how they tried to manipulatively rope in Mohanji Bhagwat, who I think is genuinely one of the finest human beings in India and one of the finest, I repeat, thought leaders, because he spreads the good values of good Sanskriti and Sabhyata, and that's what the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh stands for.
Okay.
So every time you malign or you question or you have these casting aspersions, please read up on the RSS before you comment.
If this man is wrong, if Mehboob Mujawar is wrong, there should be a categorical denial of what he said. There should be proof that what he said is rubbish, and he should be discredited, and I will be the first. I will be the first to report that. I will be the first to report it, because this is too serious an issue. The allegations of someone who has been in service before, who has been directly involved in the investigation before, making a claim of this kind, no matter what aspersions you cast on it, cannot be allowed to simply stand by themselves if they are not true. I will end on that note. Nikhil, Shaina, Shantanu, appreciate it. Thank you very much. In fact, we've got some breaking news, because NDTV has accessed a copy of the judgment in the Malegaon blast case, and the judgment details are shocking. The court has pointed to torture by the anti-terror squad of Maharashtra. Proof collected by the ATS in question. Radhika Ramaswamy breaking this first here on NDTV with me live. Radhika, allegations of torture. The court has pointed to it and acknowledged it as well. Torture by the Maharashtra ATS.
Absolutely, Shiv. This is a 1036-page charge sheet that's just been uploaded on the website a couple of hours back, and it details the reason why all of these accused have been acquitted by the Special NIA Court. It does speak about the ATS torture. The court goes on to say, the judge Lahoti goes on to speak about how multiple witnesses have come before the court and spoken about torture, harassment, as well as threat from ATS officials, and that is something the court has taken very seriously. It speaks about it's not right for certain sections to say that, they were lying or these are fabricated, because this is something that has been, in fact, spoken about by the NIA as well. NIA in its charge sheet also spoke about how some of them were tortured, and then these witnesses retracted their statements, and that is something our court has very categorically made a note of in this particular charge sheet. So yes, ATS torture is part of it. Besides that, a lot of other details which were more or less spoken about in that order, in that operative order, while he was dictating about how none of the evidence really points to the role of any of the accused, be it of Sadhvi's, her usage of that particular bike. She was not in possession of the bike at the time is something that has been proven. RDX being used or possessed or being transported is not proven. There were no meetings as far as these evidence presented before the court is concerned. Nothing to suggest that they were conspiring to, sort of plan this terror attack, in Malegaon. So none of the evidence really suggests suggest to the involvement of any of these accused is something that the court has said, which court had said in that operative part as well. But very importantly, speaking about ATS torture and making an important note of torture of witnesses as well as accused by officers of anti-terrorism squad.
And we can be sure that more details of this torture, which have come out so far in hearings and testimony, will be part of the public record very soon. So expect much more disturbing layers to this evolving story. Radhika, thanks very much for that update.